I see you. Yeah, you. You're no slouch. Maybe you watched my Cosmere Spoilers for Beginners video and decided you wanted more information before you dive in. Well, journey before destination, my friend. In this video, I'm going to dive a little deeper into some of the topics that I already covered, like the planets in the Cosmere, and also talk a little bit more about the shards and what that means, so buckle on your metal vials, take a deep breath, and let's get started. I'm not going to get super into realmatic theory in this video. I'll save that for the advanced video and probably a deep dive at some later date. Right now, I'm going to refresh your memory on the planets and their shards and give a few more details so that you have the background going in. Sel is once again the world where Elantris and the Emperor's soul take place. Devotion and Dominion landed here. At some later point, they were both destroyed by Odium, and splinters of their power remain behind as the Seons and the Skays. Magic is very region-specific in this world, and each continent has different kinds of magic and slightly different rules. This gets into the idea of dominion as in domain, and that's important for where you're performing magic in the world and the country that you're in. Scadrial is the world of Mistborn. Preservation and Ruin landed here, and this is a world where human life was created anew, and Preservation and Ruin based it on the human life that existed on Yolen pre-shattering. They could only create life by working together because Preservation by nature wanted to keep everything the same, and Ruin by nature wanted everything to change, so it was sort of order and chaos acting against one another, and that's one of the central struggles of the story. Nalthis is the world of Warbreaker. This world has the shard Endowment. Nalthians are more invested than the average human in the Cosmere and can willingly give up that extra investiture to someone else in the form of trading their breath. I think it's been described that the average human in the Cosmere exists at 1.0 investiture. Every Nalthian is at about 1.25, and if someone trades their breath away and becomes a drab, they're about at a 0.75. Taldane is the world of White Sand. This world at some point had the shard Autonomy. Autonomy, as you might expect, is very focused on being self-sufficient and independent, and passes quite a bit of judgment on the shards that settled on worlds together because that wasn't something that the vessels originally agreed on. Ashen is a world in the Stormlight Archive. Little is known about this world, but it is referred to in the text as the Tranquiline Halls. Roshar is the world that the Stormlight Archive takes place on primarily. Cultivation, Honor, and Odium currently exert influence here. Odium splintered Honor at some point, but remnants of his power live on in the form of Honor Spren, which are similar to the Seons and Skays on Sel. Braze is another world in the Stormlight Archive. We start to learn more about this world in the 3rd and 4th books in the Stormlight Archive, and this planet is referred to in the text as Damnation, which always makes me think about Portal and Android Hell is a real place where you'll be sent at the first sign of defiance, and I don't know why that happens in my brain, but it just does. First of the Sun is the world in Sixth of the Dusk. This world has an archipelago, and one island is an avatar of autonomy. If you want more information on these shards and vessels and how they're interacting in the greater Cosmere, I will be doing an advanced quality of life spoilers video, but for now, suffice to say that autonomy is seeding pieces of their influence throughout the Cosmere. Lumar is the world in Tress of the Emerald Sea. No known shard is influencing events here, but there are other things at work happening in Tress of the Emerald Sea that we have hints of in the wider Cosmere, and I'm very excited for how that is all going to play out. Threnody is the world of Shadows for Silence in the Forests of Hell. This world's shard is Ambition, and at some point in the past, Odium splintered Ambition in the star system where Threnody exists. Utol, this is the source of the light that pierces the shroud on Komashi, and we also know that there are beings on this world that also exist on Yolen, which is Hoid's homeworld. Komashi is the world of Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. Virtuosity is the shard here, and that is referring to being a virtuoso of some kind of art. The colors cyan and magenta play a big role in the aesthetics of the main urban area of this world, and it is also surrounded by a black shroud. Why is yellow not referenced? Because CMYK, am I right? Well, apparently that's a Rayfo, so that's gonna come back around. And finally, Yolen is Hoid's homeworld, which existed pre-shattering. This is the best known world where humans existed pre-shattering, and many of the worlds where shards exert influence already had human life. In fact, I think Scadrial might be the only exception where life was created anew. And, you know, Hoid's homeworld, there's that Hoid guy again. He says some things that are pretty cryptic, and that's a funny play on words for another video, but he shows up for a reason. He is what is called a world hopper, and he once made a promise that he would always be there when he was needed. Oh, and no, he's not the author of the Ars Arcanum. Yeah, we all thought that for a couple of years, so you're welcome. You don't have to speculate on that for a few years the way that we did back in the early 2010s. If you still couldn't get enough and want to get deep into the machinations of the Cosmere, I will be doing an advanced quality of life spoilers video and probably a romantic theory deep dive too, so keep an eye out for that. And until then, stay spicy.